Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. I cannot believe, by the way, how dark does it look today? Jesus, that's crazy. It looks like I'm filming in the middle of the night or something. First of all, would you guys believe I'm still sick? Not sick enough to go to the doctors, but it's still sick enough to feel like too weak to go to the gym. Although I am going to try and force myself to go today just because being out of it for so long, I think it's been just over a week now, has just been really I don't know. It sucks. You know, when something is a part of your routine and it makes you feel so good when you do it, like not being able to do it anymore, like it makes you feel like crap. And so I'm like, okay, I have to at least try to force myself to go. So that is my goal for tonight, to get back out there, do even like a little 30-minute workout. And hopefully that'll get me, back to where I should be. Let's see who we've got with us here for today's morning report. We've got Gala, Ashley, Ronnie, Ali, Ramster, Tadisha, Venetia, Monique, Alexandria's here as well. Kahara, Jaleesa. Jaleesa, I forgot to tell you, because I know you're like our number one Beehive girly in here, one of our number ones. Jaleesa, she's going on tour with Beyonce, you guys. So she started, I think she did 2 nights in Chicago, and she's going to do Paris. And I think you have other nights too, right? My Cowboy Carter outfit came in yesterday, and I'm so excited about it. I have to get some parts of it like taken in though, for the top and the bottom. It's so hard to order your size online because like I've always worn like a size 6. So whenever it's like coming to a number of something to order or whatever, that's fine, right? Because it feels standard. But then when you're trying to decide, does that mean it's a small? Does that mean it's a medium? Typically, I like to like err on the side of caution and order a medium, because sometimes you order a small and it's too small, right? And it's worse for something to be too small than too big, right? So that's the issue that I have right now. I have to go to the tailor to get them taken in, but I'm really excited about them. Like I'm so happy. I am. I just have to keep going in the gym a little bit, continue, managing my macros, and I will be where I want to be for the Beyonce concert. It's good morning, Cynthia, Ali, Saima, Michelle, Melinda. Oh, Reaper's in the building. Hopefully not to collect me or anybody here. Good morning, Rebecca, LL, Jazz, Kate, All About Minnie, Kelly, Erin, Karina, Nikki. Oh my God, Tracy. There's so many people in here. Deshauna, Rebecca, so nice to have you all here. We have got a lot to talk about in today's episode of the Morning Report. Per usual, there's this Cate story, you guys, that is just so weird. I don't really know how to approach it. It kind of feels like, to be honest with you, it kind of feels like there's a dogpiling situation with as far as Cate and Tyler goes and the Cole Carly of it all. So I'm a bit nervous about like how to approach the story, but I think it's a big story that is an important story that is worth talking about. So let's get into that a little bit later on, okay? And by the way, welcome to your first Morning Report, Reaper, and everybody else tuning in for the first time. And yes, Ali, we talked about that yesterday. It was quite sad to see, to be honest with you. Justin Bieber, c'est se voit. It's apparent that he's not in a good place. And I hope that the people around him are able to rally together, hold some kind of an intervention. Here's the thing. Sometimes when someone is a drug addict or an alcoholic or something like that, and I'm not saying that that's what he is, but if that is the case, then sometimes it's just like impossible to get through to them, even if they have, and especially if they have the kind of money and power that Justin has. Justin has more money, power, and influence than all the people in his entourage, right? So already there's like a slight God complex there, right? So it's hard enough with a regular person, So imagine someone in his position, like, oh my goodness, I do not envy his loved ones at all. Why don't we get into Diddy first of all, you guys? The Diddy of it all. I have a little quick update about him being upset about Kid Cudi's testimony. So before we get into Diddy, hang on. The guards are going to bring him out, and I'm going to try to bring some light in here because it kind of feels like I am filming from like a cave. You know that cave that Joe sentenced Kale to? It feels like I'm filming for there. Cards, bring out Diddy. The Diddler, as y'all like to say. All right, so I've opened some of my curtains, and hopefully that means that there's going to be some light in here because what the F, y'all? What is going on? We're having a cloudy week, by the way. So basically, Diddy and his lawyers are trying to get Kid Cudi's Friday testimony erased from the record because they're saying that Kid Cudi had no evidence that Diddy had anything to do with his car being blown up. All Kid Cudi could say on the stand was that he very strongly suspected that it was Diddy and that Diddy did this because of his relationship with Cassie at the time. And so again, Diddy's team says, listen, there's no proof, there's no link, no DNA evidence, no nothing to tie Diddy to the case. And Kid Cudi also admitted that when he confronted Diddy about the car blowing up, Diddy denied having any kind of involvement or knowing anything about the car blowing up. However, there was this final moment in Kid Cudi's testimony where he did say that there was a meeting between the two of them at the Soho house. Remember when he said that Diddy was popped up looking like some kind of like a Marvel villain or something like that? He said that during that meeting, Diddy said that he was sorry about all of the ish, right? So he kind of perceived that as Diddy taking responsibility for what went down with his car. And so we're going to have to wait and see how that ultimately winds up playing out in court. I personally do not believe that the judge is going to strike this testimony. I think that if he were going to, then it would have he wouldn't have been able to testify at all in the first place. But in my opinion, given that Kid Cudi was able to testify, it's going to be able to stand. Cate says, guards, bring him out. You kill me. Isn't it so fun? Honestly, there's just something about having these prisoners here on the morning report. And by the way, it's our girl Jaleesa's birthday. Happy birthday, Jaleesa, the big 3.1. Oh my goodness. I hope you have a great day celebrating. How are you celebrating your birthday, Miss Gemini? So exciting. Happy birthday. Thanks for being here to join us in gossiping on your birthday and keeping posted on the day's hottest stories. We're so happy to still have you here with us on your big day. Now, speaking of big day and speaking of birthdays, there's going to be a Love is Blind birthday coming very, very soon for the ultimate stars of the show, Lauren and Cameron. They announced yesterday that they are expecting a baby. And I think it is just the most beautiful thing, right? Like, they are the number one couple from all of the seasons of the show. A lot of people say that show was made for the two of them to meet each other, fall in love and everything, right? And they have faced an enormous amount of pressure from Love is Blind viewers over 5-6 years of the show being aired and whatnot. People just pushing and pushing, asking all these questions, prying when they're going to have a baby and whatnot, even knowing, right, that this is not an appropriate question to be asking people, but people continue to do it. Right. And even after they talked about having fertility issues, people still continue to push the subject. Right. And so I'm happy for them that after all these years of trying, they went through 4 years of infertility before being able to announce this good news. And I got to be honest with you guys, I'm really devastated that Lauren's father is not going to be here to see and witness, the birth of his first grandchild. Right. From Lauren anyway. And I feel as though, maybe this is a little bit woo-woo or whatever, but it kind of feels as though, he had something to do with her being able to get pregnant with this baby because they've been trying for 4 years, right? And then he passed away, and this was a big dream for him as well, for them to be able to start their family. And so now hearing that, again, he passed away in Christmas, which is just absolutely devastating, right? A loved one, let alone your father that you're extremely close to, passing away on Christmas Day. And then they took the test less than a month later, right? So at the end of the January, and they found out that she was pregnant. I'm sorry, you guys, but that is the coincidence of all coincidences. I really believe in that sort of thing. I get the feeling that, he helped arrange for the spirit of this baby to be able to be brought into this world. And so I'm just over the moon. And it's so like weird the level of happiness I have for them, because of course I don't know these people. These people do not know me, but I've just been so inspired by their love story and just seeing and hearing from them for the past 5 years or so, and how bad they wanted this, and just like how lovely they seem as a couple and as individual people. I just know that they're going to be the most beautiful, loving, kind parents. And so I'm just so happy that this is something that is finally happening for them. They did do an interview with People magazine about it all. And Lauren had said, and I quote, "It's a little bittersweet because my dad's not here physically to be with us, but we know that he's watching over us." So it was just like, wow, I can't believe this. We just felt so blessed, so grateful and happy, excited. Then it hit like, we're going to be parents. Oh my God. We were counting down the day until we could test because we did IVF. That's what Cameron said. And then he continued on with saying, we knew, okay, this is the day that we're going to do the test. Of course, we're going in for a blood test later that day, but we couldn't wait any longer. We did the classic test and we both went into the bathroom to look at the clear blue test, and it was face down. We flipped it over. We saw the word pregnant, and that was just a huge moment to actually see the word pregnant on the test. It was a relief because while we've taken a few pregnancy tests, and when you use the ones with the lines, it could be anxiety driven because it's like, is that what I think? So seeing the word pregnant, it was amazing. We just looked at each other. I fell to my knees and cried. It's been a long time coming. We've been literally trying to get pregnant for 4 years. And so Lauren describes her first trimester as rather rough, but now she's past it. And she is just having cravings for cheese right now. Shredded cheese, mac and cheese, anything involving cheese is something that she is craving at this moment. Fruits as well. There are a couple of food aversions, but she doesn't really list what exactly those are. And she did also share something really sweet, which is something I love about, the cast of the show, is that a lot of them, from the same seasons or from different seasons or whatever, they tend to stay rather close, right? So she and Cameron and Amber and Barnett are the only couples from season 1 who are married. And, Amber recently gave birth to she and Barnett's first child. And so Amber's been very instrumental in giving her all sorts of advice as well. And so just the bond, the long time coming for them to have this baby and everything. It's just making me so damn happy to hear about it, right, Allie? Like, it makes you want to cry. Like, it is just the sweetest story ever. And yes, Ramster, they are from season 1. Like, it was just such a good season. That's the thing about reality TV. Like, nothing ever really compares to the first season of like a brand new show. You know what I mean? There's just that raw authenticity that is just there, and it's beautiful. And thank you, Tyrell. You guys, if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. Now, good morning, Petty LaBelle. Good morning, Hamlet's Princess. Good morning, Gwen, and everybody else tuning in. And I'm loving all of the birthday love for our Jaleesa. Jaleesa is 31 years old today. Minnie says, the announcement was beautiful with the father's portrait on the mantle. It sure was. He was always so lovely and supportive of their relationship. And so I'm sad that he's not going to be able to hold his first grandchild. But again, I really feel as though he had a hand in helping, usher in the spirit of this baby and everything, right? See, Jaleesa says the same thing as well. So I just know that he's already there, watching over his grandchild nonetheless. And it is just so damn beautiful, truly. Now, you guys, why don't we get into the Catelynn story? Again, listen, I am very sad for Catelynn and Tyler with what it is that they're going through. They were very young when they signed over the custody of their daughter, right? And they didn't fully understand adoption and open adoption, closed adoption, boundaries, a lot of things, right? However, these messages that I saw are quite alarming. So just to set the scene here, Catelynn was texting with somebody that she believed to be a friend of Carly's. And her biological daughter, Carly, is only 16 years old. So essentially, she believed that she was texting with a minor, right? And in my opinion, that already is inappropriate, right? You should not be, as an adult, texting with a random minor, in my opinion, anyway, right? That's not something I personally would participate in. And basically, this person who supposedly catfished Caitlyn was trying to make her believe that she was friends with Carly, and just that she would make a secret phone call on behalf of Carly to connect Carly to Caitlyn, because the big bad wolves, Brandon and Teresa, are keeping Carly from Caitlyn, like all this sort of a thing. And, it kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit when I'm, setting up this story, because it is just so wildly inappropriate, right? And again, I don't want to jump on the pylon against Caitlyn and Tyler, because although they have made a lot of missteps, right? I don't think they're bad people, right? However, this is a big story, and here on the Morning Report or on the Grace Report, we talk about, big stories. So here goes. I've got access to the text messages that were being sent. Shout out to the Teen Mom Reddit page for hooking this up. Let's start taking a look at some of them. Okay, you guys, again, very, very, very weird stuff, texting with a teenager like this, but I digress. So here's the message. It starts with Caitlyn. Caitlyn has the gray text bubbles, okay? And the person who catfished her has the purple text bubbles, okay? So, hey, this is Caitlyn. Hey, is this blank? It's Caitlyn. Catfish says, hi, Caitlyn. Thanks for texting me back. So I spoke with another friend of Carly's, and she doesn't have a friend named blank. Yes, my name is blank, and I am very good friends with Carly. I go to school with her. Did you know that she wants to contact you guys, and she knows you guys are trying hard, and we show her everything? Did you know that her parents are monitoring everything as they are worried and scared? So Caitlyn asks, what school then? I know what school, so I just don't know if you're legit. Like, how do I know you're legit? LOL. I go to blank school since kindergarten. I'm in high school now. You don't need to believe me, but I'm being truthful. I live on Carly's street. Oh, Lord, have mercy. All right. So, okay, first page, listen, it's bad, but it's not terrible yet, right? She just wants to make sure that she's not being catfished. And unfortunately for Kate, that is exactly what was happening to her. I got to be honest, though, you guys, I do think that it's quite unfair that somebody would take Caitlyn's grief, right, and then use it to catfish her and then to expose her on the internet. I feel like that's a very mean thing to do. Is it inappropriate to be texting with what you believe is a child associated with your biological child that, you placed for adoption? Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's also really terrible to be tricking somebody like this, right? That's just my opinion. Anyway, so let's get into the second page of text. Once again, this is coming from the Teen Mom Reddit, not the one with all the words. This is the one where it's just Reddit/Teen Mom. And so Caitlyn had texted, she's so pretty, in reference to Carly. Hopefully she'll want to call me tomorrow when you guys are at lunch or something, but whatever she's comfortable with, or even audio messaging back and forth. Or are you Android? I don't know if you can do voice messages or not. Just let her know, like I told you earlier, though, that if she uses your phone to talk to us or whatever she wants, like it'll be between Tyler and I, and that's it. So I think that it's very odd that in the initial message, so let me go back to that. The person was saying that Brandon and Teresa do not want for Carly to have contact with Caitlyn and Tyler, right? And so Kate continues this conversation against the wishes of Carly's parents. So that already is just so crazy, but your biological child or not, you gave birth to her, that's one thing, but you are not her parent. Her parents do. So just imagine this with like any child, imagine there's like a random child out there. Their parents do not want, them to have contact with you. And so you are trying to go through friends of friends or whatever to get contact with this person behind their parents' back. Like, that is very odd behavior, right? And again, this person's very weird for pulling this catfishing stunt, but Kate is also, in the wrong here with trying to backdoor Brandon and Teresa. So the catfish responds by saying, yes, she's so pretty. She's very kind and loving. So many people like her, and I guess she's popular. Okay, I will tell her and reassure her that it will never be in the media or TV. The friend, she told me that she didn't want to contact you guys. I wonder if she is just scared for it to all to come out and her parents finding out. So Cate responds, I don't know, but we have an email that we set up for her specifically that we've been sending updates to since her parents closed the adoption. So she's more comfortable communicating that way. That's also fine. I just want her to feel no pressure or obligation because this is about her and no one else. But the thing is, she is a child. So like if it's about her, you have to go through her parents at this point because she is a child. You cannot backdoor the parents of this child here, right? Very, very odd. And so then there are a lot more text messages, by the way, right? So at this point, she's trying to see if the girl is home. Like she's just trying to get like more information out of this girl to verify that this really is what is going on, right? And that she's not being tricked. And so it makes me feel bad for her because she was really trying, right? But this girl was so good, I guess. And so let's see. Yes, I'm at home now. So not at school anymore, but tomorrow can we text or call you? And Caitlyn asks, do you think that would freak Carly out? I really want to believe you. I wish there was a way you could prove to me that this is real. And obviously, if it is, then I want to thank you for loving her and being such a great friend to stand up for her and to reach out to me. Like, I feel like you're being truthful. So don't get me wrong, because no other friends have reached out to us to try to help Carly. Help Carly from what? Like who even told you that Carly needed help? Like Carly is living her life. Apparently, Carly is, she's singing in the choir. She's got her little boyfriend, like she's got her friends and whatnot. So what do you mean help Carly? Like I found that to be very odd, right? And so the exchange then continues with Caitlyn saying, because, with the person responding, I'm being very truthful. Carly is a good friend. Which friend do you talk to of hers? I go to church with Carly too. My dad and Brandon work together. Cate says that she can't throw this friend under the bus. I promised her I wouldn't tell anyone she reached out. Okay, Carly has expressed the only thing she's freaked out about if it gets put on the show or the media that she's contacted you guys and her being in so much trouble. And then Cate responds, but this other friend has told me Carly doesn't want contact with us. And that's why we decided to stop talking about our adoption publicly. So now I'm confused, LOL, because you're saying that she wants contact with us and is searching my parents' numbers. Oh my God, I would keep that a secret till the day I died. I would never. So which is the truth, right? I kind of feel like, listen, it hurts, right? Like it hurts. It's devastating to be rejected by your, I don't know, do I say your child? Because technically, yes, she's their child, but also technically, no, she is not their child. She's Brandon and Teresa's child, right? So of course, there's a certain level of rejection that Caitlyn is feeling here, and it's sad, obviously, but she should have listened to the first friend who already told her that like Carly does not want contact and just leave it alone. Yes, set up that email where you send all the photos and maybe you give her the address one day and she can go through them like when she wants to, right? But to be like, backdooring your way into her life through all these like random children or whatever is weird, right? Niam says the parents should get a restraining order at this stage, though I can see from both sides. And that's what I'm worried about for Caitlyn and Tyler. Like, I don't think they're bad people. I don't think they're dangerous people, but this behavior is very inappropriate. And I would not be surprised if Brandon and Teresa ultimately had to go down that route of getting a restraining order. And it's so sad. Somebody else had posted here earlier, like there's only 2 years left. Carly is 16 years old. You've made it this far. Like, why did you have to go and torch everything and permanently damage your relationship with them for the final 2 years? Like you should have just waited those 2 years and then tried to get in contact with her when she is legally an adult and when she can, when you can do this directly or whatever, right? It's so inappropriate. It is so weird. Crazy Dalmatian lady says the weirdest part is her asking for a pic. Oh yeah, get ready for that, right? She's asking for pictures, the address. Yeah, it gets worse, you guys. Dreadful Ruby says, listen, you know I have a cat phobia, right? But I will say that this cat's cute. I like its little half and half face. Like that is so cute. This cat is cute. It would scare me if I saw it in real life, but it's cute. So Ruby says, I really don't feel bad for her here. This is wrong on so many levels. And I agree. It's really, really inappropriate. This is not cool. It's not cool. Tyrell says, this sounds very sus. Carly, if scared, but wants to see Caitlyn and Tyler, she can get help. She's older. She has access to resources. Yeah, Little's contact local public health for referrals to help from abuse, neglect, period. Jay says, Raven, for real. And she admits she knows Carly doesn't want contact. Exactly. She knew Carly did not want contact. And yet you're still trying to, find these like different ways to get in contact with a child that does not, want contact with you at this point, right? It's, oh God, it's sad. It is. What else? Okay, so we had just finished reading this part where Cate swore herself to secrecy. She says, I will never expose you or Carly or anything about these conversations that we're going to have with Carly, right? And then here's some more messages. We're just finishing track is what the liar says. Okay, also, can you ask her what gift Tyler gave her at our last visit? Unless Carly doesn't want anyone to know her middle name, right? Because it's definitely different, but ask her what her real middle name is. I asked and she gave me a look. I said blank and she continued talking to her coach. Cate says, ugh. And then she also says, oh, okay, but that's why maybe if you told her I was asking you what her middle name was. And this person says, no, I just asked what her middle name was because people are around. I asked like I was wondering a question. Yes, I can when there are not people around. Okay, maybe you can get her by herself and tell her I'm asking. So now you're asking this random child to go isolate another random child for personal information about her. Would it be weird for you to send me a selfie? Now you're asking a child. You're asking a 16-year-old girl for a selfie. Not with Carly, but you yourself. Caitlyn, oh my God. I've been trying so hard to defend her and Tyler all this time. I really, really have been. All right. But there's no planet on which it's appropriate or defensible, right? For a 30-something-year-old woman to be asking what she thinks is a high school aged 16-year-old child for a selfie. That is just, wow, really spooky behavior. You're already talking to this girl like, oh, I'm going to keep all your secrets. Your secrets are safe with me. I'll take all this stuff to the grave. Send me a pic. That's not a good look at all. Obviously, this is not something like she is creeping on the child. She's interested in children or anything like that. No, but it is just really, really incredibly inappropriate, right? Just as these texts are giving stalker vibes, and they are, right? This is unhinged. It is. This is scary. Jay says she just showed Brandon and Teresa what they do behind their back, right? And that's the big thing here, right? Like, how do you think Brandon and Teresa are going to want to have any kind of relationship with you or want to mend fences with you when you've shown that you do not give a crap about their position or their authority as Carly's parents? You think that, you're the real parents and you could do whatever you want, to the point where you're running around swearing teenagers to secrecy and asking them for selfies and asking them to isolate their daughter and ask her all these personal questions, so it seems as though she knows that maybe, Carly is a little bit embarrassed or whatever, ashamed of her middle name. You want like this, you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird, right, Venetia? It's so weird. JG, what a beautiful sunset, golden hour. Can she get charged for this? If this happened to my child, I would lose it. And I wonder, right? Because again, I don't think she's grooming this child. I don't think she has an interest in children. You know what I mean? She's not a PDF file or anything like that. So what is this? What is it? It's such a weird, I don't know. It's such a good question, right? It is so weird. You know what, JG, why don't I write this down somewhere? Hang on. I'm going to pull up my phone. By the way, you guys, I got a new phone and look at this case for my phone. Isn't it cute? Anyway, let me write this down. You know how I have my lawyer friend on YouTube? What is his name? Dmitry Shakhnovich. I'm gonna ask Dmitry if Caitlyn can face legal consequences for those inappropriate texts about Carly. So, because I do think that that is a very good question, right? Like this is very weird what is happening here. And so I do wonder. We already know this is not like, you know, romantically or whatever motivated, right? Like this is just her being obsessive, right? Katie says, I wonder if Tyler knew about this. I feel like between the two of them, there should have been some better judgment, right? I imagine that he did know about it. And I imagine that this is something he would do too. In fact, he's probably counting his lucky stars that even though they don't have that much sense between the two of them, at least they had enough sense for Caitlyn to be the one sending these messages. Imagine if it was Tyler sending these messages. Now that would be an even, and it's sexism, right? Because these messages are the same either way. But because it's Caitlyn, there's like this softerness to it or whatever. It's a little bit softer. But if it were a man asking the girl for all this stuff, it would be a whole different ballgame, right? Completely different ballgame. BR, she says this is giving to catch a predator. Oh my God. And GG, wow, Barbados. What a beautiful island. Oh my God. Love it. You guys are looking so beautiful in that beautiful sunset. Now let's see where this continues on, because like I said, y'all, there are more messages here. We've got quite a few more messages. So Caitlyn says, I just want her to feel no pressure or obligation because this is about her and no one else. What time is your lunch? So essentially she wants for this girl to get Carly on the phone with her during their lunch break. Like, I'm praying that I get to hear her voice tomorrow because I know her voice. And the liar says, I wish I could call or text her since after school that you got in touch. She will be shocked. Our dining hours. And so now look, this supposed child is giving Caitlyn, the adult, all this information about, where these children are accessible in the school, right? Like the dining hours and whatnot. Like that is so creepy, guys. Please have these like parental locks on your children's phones so you could read their messages from the comfort of your own phone, because look at the weirdos that are messaging children, asking for these details about their day, right? The only struggle is if her mom comes around at our meal times, as sometimes she will come and sit with us. So you would think, oh, it's nice. Look how involved Carly's mother is, right? Like she is so loved. The mom is taking time out of her afternoon to come have some lunch with her daughter, and her friends. Like she's really involved in Carly's education. Like it seems so loving, right? And it seems so positive. You would think, right? Because then Caitlyn's pissed. She's like, oh, how dare this woman come in between me and my child? I'm trying to get this child alone. And here she is coming to visit her at lunch. Yuck. Look at her response. She sits with you at lunch? That's gotta get annoying after a while, I'm sure. But maybe if you can go to a bathroom. So now you're telling these little girls, you already asked her for a selfie. Now you're telling her, go to the bathroom and bring your phone with you. What are your dining hours? Go to the bathroom, bring your phone with you. Like, what is this? What is this? Oh my God, right? I don't know. I don't want any of you girls to feel any pressure though. I'm sorry. This is grooming language. I don't think that Caitlyn is a groomer. I don't think she was going to do anything dangerous to these children, right? But this is the way that groomers speak to children. I just want you to feel safe and comfortable. Like, I'm such a good person. Meanwhile, they are crossing every boundary in the book. I feel really bad that her parents won't allow her to have certain freedoms that I believe she deserves. She's a good kid. What do you mean certain freedoms that she deserves? What do you know about this child? She's a good kid. You don't know this girl. You don't know about her freedoms. Like, she's not locked up under an attic like Harry Potter or something like that, under the staircase. Like, her mom is so involved in her school life. That is such a beautiful thing to me, right? And you're making it into such an ugly thing. You're trying to make it look like the mom is so controlling. She doesn't let her breathe, this or that. Meanwhile, you're the one running through all of these teenagers to try and get contact with a child that already told you, as you admitted in some messages a little bit earlier on, trying to get in contact with a child that told you she doesn't want to get in contact with you. And you're saying that her actual mom that she loves being in contact with, that like she has in her day-to-day life, her mom showing up to school to make sure everything's okay, just to continue seeing her and all this stuff. Like, she's overbearing. She's stifling Carly's freedom. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. Like, the audacity. This is insane. Right? It's like JG said, she put the nail in the coffin. And I agree. This is just so weird. Like Zebra says, this is clear manipulation of a minor, terrifying behavior. 1000%. This is not normal. And then the Catfish then messaged Cate the next day at 6:50 in the morning. Good morning. I told Carly and showed her all of our messages. We were off to class. She is happy it worked, getting in touch, but she's very nervous and so scared to get caught. Like, what is this? Oh my God, I'm laughing because I'm so uncomfortable. Like, my body is squirming. Like, what the hell am I witnessing here? A grown woman in her, early 30s, mid 30s or whatever, mid 30s, I think almost, messaging like this with children is crazy. Yeah, I feel like our last visit, we got to be alone more than ever before. And that was so special. Like, this is so crazy. Like, what business is this of the teenagers, right? What business is it of this random high school friend of Carly's? How much alone time you got to spend with Carly and all this stuff? Like, this is just, oh, I'm so mad at Cate because I have been defending her and Tyler so hard all year. And this is what they do to me. They have me out here looking stupid. Like, truly stupid. Like, why would you, like, on what planet would you think it was appropriate in any level, in any capacity, to be sending this kind of message to a child, right? Jacqueline says, I think this is an extreme, you know, your name is very rich, Jacqueline. This is giving money. Jacqueline Woodard. I think this is an extremely devastating situation. As we keep saying, they need therapy. They clearly should have never went the route of adoption. And I agree. This stuff has just messed with them on a level that I don't even know what to say. Right. And it's a good question, Jesse. What's going to be the new excuse, right? Is it going to be that Brandon and Teresa brainwashed her so hard? And that's why even as an adult, when she can make her own choices, she still, potentially doesn't want to be in contact with them. Kathy says, I definitely think asking for pictures and things, could be a way to call them out that she isn't convinced they're a friend of Carly. Yeah, I think that that's the case. But at the same time, she has to remember she's talking to a minor. This is a minor that she's asking for selfies. This is a minor that she's asking to go to the school bathroom, to bring her phone with her, to make calls and this and that with her and Carly. And, just another minor that she's trying to isolate. Like, it's just, oh my God. It's just trying to make a positive thing of Carly's mom, Teresa, being so involved in her school life into a negative, right? She's trying to turn Carly against her mom and saying that that's stifling Carly's freedom. The fact that her mom loves her enough to come to school and have lunch with her and wants to spend all the time in the world with her. Like, that's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Hi, Caroline. Nice to see you. And East Awesome. We were wondering where you were too. Sorry, I've been MIA. I've been going through panel interviews to get a promotion to a new senior project manager role at work. I got it on Friday. The start date is June 16th. Hang on. We got an applause for you. You've been working hard at this for a while, so I'm so proud of you. Yes, your hard work has paid off. Absolutely incredible. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. You must be so excited. And yes, thank you, Deja. If you guys are enjoying today's episode of the Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. We go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the day's hottest stories. H. Crescenzo says, in reality TV with Ray and that other TikTok created with long pick dyed hair, these texts are solid proof that Carly doesn't want to stay away. LOL. Imagine being that stuck on what a catfish says. It's a catfish. It's a catfish. And no, Niam, it's an adult who decided to go ahead and troll her. The weird thing is that she was speaking to somebody that she thought was a child this way, right? Like, oh, So now we're at the like last of her messages. Thank God, because listen, I am cringing my way out of my skin at this point, y'all. I am. And by the way, some of you guys have been mentioning a video of Ashley. I managed to download it, so we'll definitely be talking about that as well. Okay. So yeah, this message she's telling the friend, oh, like we got so much alone time with Carly. That's so special. Okay, question. What's the name of her street? Now you're asking for the name of a child's street. We know that. And if you know her, you would know this as well. But here's the thing. There's no way for the other person to know that Caitlyn and Tyler know that. Maybe they don't. Remember, Caitlyn and Tyler didn't even know Carly's last name for a while. Like Brendan and Teresa, they've been putting boundaries in place here. So I'm not sure that Caitlyn and Tyler really do know their address. And if they do know Brendan and Teresa's address, I'm sorry, Brendan and Teresa, y'all better start the car, get the movers, enter into witness protection, something. You need to get the hell out of Dodge because that is terrifying. Now, these people who think it's absolutely appropriate to be messaging minors like this have your address. Do y'all think that Caitlyn was bluffing when she said that she knows Carly's address? Because I low-key think she was. Again, Brandon and Teresa did not want to give Caitlyn and Tyler their last name or Carly's last name, right? Absolutely insane. So, oh my God. Again, listen, y'all, last set of messages. Thank God, thank God, thank God. I can't do this anymore. What's your address? So this person gives the address. I live on the same street. What about the house number? Caitlyn, please, Jesus. This is so, I truly do not even have the words for it. What about the house number? And so she liked the message. And this person says her address is this and I am this. So now here you are collecting the address of not one, but two minors. I wish you could believe me. And Caitlyn responds to this child, I know, honey. I'm sorry, but this is my daughter. This ain't your daughter. This ain't your, that is the problem. You think that this is your daughter, but this is not your daughter. This is Brandon and Teresa's daughter. What are you talking about? And I have to guarantee that she's safe. I hope you understand. What's your last name? Now you want this to, oh my goodness gracious. You know what? That question you asked Sunset in Barbados earlier about whether or not like this is legal, like if there's any kind of like, you know, criminal, you know, aspect to what is happening here. I'm truly curious about that now because this is absolutely like insane, right? What's the child's address? What's your address? What's your last name? What? Oh my God, this is insane. And so the person asks, do I have to give you my last name? Kate says, no, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just a mom that's concerned. Concerned about what? And how would the access to this child's last name ease your concerns? And what are you talking about? You know, it's my daughter and I got to guarantee she's safe. What reason do you have to believe that this child is not safe? Right? Like she's been adopted by very loving, very, you know, what appears to be, right, stable parents. The mother is extremely involved, you know, with her school, her education and everything. And you, all the way from wherever the hell you're at, you know, and I don't even think you're even half as involved with your children. No offense. You know, we'll take it there, though. We'll take it there. But, you know, and you're over here worried about how safe Carly is. Weren't you and Tyler still letting April and Butch and Tyler's sister, all three of these people are crackheads, letting these people watch your children, but you're worried about if Carly's safe? I'm sorry, but the audacity, the pure, raw audacity that you have to have in that situation to be claiming that you were worried for that child's safety when your children are being watched by freaking crackheads is insane. That is insane. Jabe says, maybe Kate is low-key jealous of Carly. How dare you succeed and be happy without me? And I think that maybe that's it, right? Sometimes, unfortunately, there are cases of parents being jealous of their own children, right? And so it's just, oof, maybe it's looking like that, right? And Gray Panda is asking if I watched the episode, their body language is off. Yeah, I did watch the episode, and it is true. As soon as Dr. Drew told them that, you know, Carly's happy, she's thriving, she says she's doing okay, they look sad and upset. And, you know, Kate starts, you know, crying. And you're like, why? Like, isn't that a good thing that your daughter's happy and she's thriving and she's loved? Isn't that what you wanted? That's crazy, right? Bailey says, no, I'm sorry. This is so inappropriate. Caitlyn has zero excuse for this ish. And I agree. I agree. If they're that concerned, ask for a welfare check, right? Oh my God. This is just so like unhinged, right? And yeah, don't forget, like Acacia says, April was drunk one time when she was supposed to be watching these children. And you mean to tell me you're concerned about Carly? Please. Please. I feel like they're still managing to create trauma for her. Yup. When that's the one thing they didn't want to do. Even though it's different, it's still trauma. And I agree. This is sad and this is scary. BR says, is this considered online stalking? It should be. It genuinely should be. Y'all, I'm so mad at these two. They got me looking crazy. Did you guys see how much I stood up for them? And I really did. And then they have me looking stupid. Listen, you guys are asking me for this video of Ashley talking about Amber Portwood, right? So I managed to download it. Let me see if it's going to be uploadable here in my studio so that we could talk about it. Full disclosure, I have not watched it yet. I went and got a copy of it. Shout out to my Reddit girls. And I guess I'm going to be watching it for the first time alongside you guys. All I saw was the title, and in the title, it says that Ashley is going off on Amber, and that's about as much information as I have on that situation. So it's currently processing. I'm going to give it a second to process, but in the meantime, let me take a look at some more of you guys' comments, right? And so, so basically, the person who put out the messages and stitched them together managed to verify Catelyn's number. Unfortunately, though, I don't have a copy of the number that was used here because I also have Catelyn's number and I would be able to verify it as well on my end. But the person who stitched these photos together was able to verify it on her end. Crazy Dalmatian Lady says, I do feel bad for them, but the texts are so weird. And by the way, I don't know if I talked about this yet, but Catelynn posted something on her Instagram stories acknowledging the leak of these messages. And it was this meme. So let me pull it up. So basically she posted this meme that said something like, oh, people are talking about me. Here it is. Let me pull it up. Do you guys see this? Here it says, they are talking about you. Yeah, because they talk about themselves. When they talk about themselves, no one listens. So Caitlyn is aware that these messages are out there. She has not denied them. She has just posted a meme bragging about the fact that people are talking about her and the situation. And Dalmatian Lady says, I do feel bad for them, but the texts are too weird. Exactly, right? I have felt terrible for them. I have been riding for them. But these messages are indefensible. They are not okay. They're very alarming. So you guys, here is the video of Ashley going off on Kung Fu Portwood. Take a look. Once again, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to be watching it for the first time with you guys and coming up with my POV right here on the spot. So here we go.
Talking about Amber fucking Portwood does not raise her own kids. The fact that you sat on that couch for 16 plus years and you're still seeing a pediatric psychiatrist, what the fuck is really going on? You make money off of just telling your story and you can't go find an adult psychiatrist? It's not normal to talk to your child and treat your child in those types of ways. I have had it with her. I have had it with her funky ass couch. I have had it with those creepy ass ventriloquist dolls on her funky ass couch. And I have had it with her consistent therapeutic sessions where she's not getting a fucking tool to be a better person. And I'm here to tell you, Amber, that if you want any chance of getting back with your daughter, you are running out of time. If you already don't have any more time, you're running out of time. Get off whatever drug is making your pupils as big as the fucking globe. Get the fuck off of this internet trolling your 16-year-old daughter. Bitch, you went live on Christmas? Are you well? Santa's flying around, dropping down presents, and you're on live on Christmas? Did you even call your daughter to see if she opened up the presents that you didn't send? I'm not even just coming from a place of anger to Amber. I'm coming from a place of hurt for Leah. She ain't pregnant at 16 like some other fucking people we know. And every turn she makes, Here the fuck you are, making a fucking live at 4 a.m., high as fuck, saying the same bullshit we've watched for 16 years. Imagine the anxiety Leah gets when she has to text her mom or see her mom. Amber, if you see this video, I'm telling you right now, you're a shitty ass mom.
She truly went, and I was not expecting all of that. Listen, she's right though. I think that Ashley is right, and it's really nice to see somebody from the franchise telling it like it is. You know, unfortunately, so many of these ladies tiptoe around Amber and enable her in her neglect of her children, especially of her daughter. So to have somebody from the franchise full blown telling her, listen, you're a deadbeat, you get your ass up off that couch. That's all you do, sit around on this couch. It's weird that you're constantly ranting, you know, especially about this child on social media, including on holidays and whatnot. You're causing her anxiety, you're causing her stress, and there's no reason for it. I say, you know what? Good for you, Ashley. You know what? She said it exactly as it needed to be said. I'm kind of nervous for Amber's response, because don't forget, the last time that Amber and Ashley were going at it, Amber threatened to mutilate Ashley. Do y'all remember that? Like, it was this huge deal. And so I don't expect for Amber to stay quiet. I think that she is going to go live on TikTok again. And maybe she's going to bring something up about Ashley. Maybe she's going to continue to threaten Ashley on social media or something like that, but she is not going to take too kindly to this. And so I'm ready, you know, and I think that Ashley is about that life. Like, if you come for Ashley, Ashley's going to keep coming for you too. Ashley has nothing to be scared of when it comes to Amber. Thanks, Jess. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how this continues. And it is true. Why is she still seeing a child psychologist at her age? She is how old? She's like 34 years old or something like that. Like, that is absolutely insane that this is who she is still seeing. She needs to go to somebody who's specialized with dealing with adults, right? And actually try to get her issues fixed. In fact, Amber's own mom told her the same thing on the show. When Amber was telling her that she wanted to bring her to that child psychologist or whatever, the mom was like, but why? Like, you've been in therapy with this person for several years. You have made no changes. And Amber said that the psychiatrist was going to be explaining it all to the mom when they get there. And so the mom gets there. The first question she asks this guy is, listen, why is it that my daughter's been seeing you for like 7 years and she's made no changes, right? Mind you, the psychiatrist kind of dropped the ball on Amber, right? Or dropped the dime, I should say. The psychiatrist said, listen, she's technically, yeah, for 7 years or whatever, but there's been many periods of time where she stopped coming, right? So I personally think that this is something that Amber does for a storyline, because she's got nobody to film with, right? She's got no friends to film with. Cousin Crystal is no longer coming around. She's got no boyfriend or whatever to be filming with. The last one ran away. He fled the state and everything. And Gary is no longer really on speaking terms with her. Her daughter's not on speaking terms with her. Her son is being raised in another state. So she needs for this psychiatrist to be her filming mate, right? Because it's always either this person or producers from the show. Now, speaking of Cousin Crystal, what happened? Like, did she and Amber fall out, or did the Cousin Crystal move or something? Like, what's the real deal with that? What the F says that there's more to the video. She talked about her bio father. Listen, I'm going to have to go dig for more of this video. The little preview that I got to see here was really, really good. Listen, one thing about Ashley is that she is a firecracker in her own right, but I do also think that she knows what's up, and that she is a very good mom to her daughter. And so if she's calling you out, she means it, right? This is not one deadbeat calling out another deadbeat. This is somebody who has truly stepped up for her own child and did an incredible job at it, being pissed at somebody else for refusing to do that for her child as well, right? Bree says, I fell down a rabbit hole after this video on TikTok. I saw the whole footage of the machete night. Girl, how was she not in prison? You saw footage of the machete night? Oh, child, let me go look and see how I can find that. We got the audio and everything, but never the actual footage. Like, that is crazy. My goodness gracious. You guys, I cannot believe how much of today's morning report we spent on the Caitlyn story, first of all, because normally we go live for an hour, y'all, but the Caitlyn story already took up so much time. We got to get into Chris Brown. I have a story, an update on him and, his protector in jail, his little bodyguard. And I do also have some photos from Mackenzie McKee's baby shower as well. So as you guys are aware, Mackenzie McKee is currently pregnant with twins by her fiance, Casanio, and they are going to be twin girls. So they just did a baby shower celebration over the weekend to celebrate the good news. By the way, if you're enjoying today's episode, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. And don't forget, we go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with the day's hottest stories. Now, y'all, we got to get into Fist Brown. Come on, guards, bring him out. There he is. So as you guys are aware, Fist Brown got locked up in the UK because he had already been facing a criminal investigation from a couple of years ago when he got into an altercation at the club. He threw a bottle, assaulted somebody with a bottle, I should say, right? And so the cops over there were very lenient with him. They let him free. They said, okay, just make sure to show up for these interviews on these days. And Fist just decided not to show up. And so he came back to the UK to set off his tour. And then they decided to go ahead and arrest him, as they should. And he spent a couple of days in prison. Now, while in prison, he had a certain man protecting him behind bars. And the man just leaked the thank you note that Fist had written to him. Did he sign this off in his blood? Is that what y'all think this is? Let me know. Anyway, the guy's name is Dave, by the way. So this is from Fist Brown. To Dave, thank you, my brother. I appreciate everything you've done for me while I've been banged up. Keep being a good person. God sees all and he sees your heart. You'll be home soon, my bro. Cheers. And so I guess he put a bunch of exclamation marks in blood and then he signed his name with a heart. You know what? That's nice. That's nice. He had his little protector in jail. I'm gonna be your protector. Even though I know someday you're gonna shine, that kind of vibe. All right, Fist. All right. Listen, do you think that Fist put some money on this man's book? This letter is one thing, right? That's a very nice thing. And I think that can go for a good amount of money if they want to put that on auction, especially if that's authentic Fist Brown blood. If that is authentic Fist Brown blood, then that can fetch a pretty penny. However, I would hope that Chris also put some money on this man's book or also, helped to pay for lawyers or something like that or for the guy, right? Because this guy protected you in jail. You're a celebrity. You're gang associated. They could have really roughed you up over there in the jail. And this guy had your back. So come on, put some money on his books. Let him buy some hot Cheetos on your dime. On your dime. My God. And I agree. I'm so pissed they let him off on bail. The first time they denied him bail, I was like, yeah, take that, And then they let him off. I said, okay, so that little ego or whatever is gonna keep growing at this point. Hey, RL, nice to see you, boo. Nice to see you. Oh my goodness gracious. There you have it, y'all. Now, we do have our final story of the episode. It is about Mackenzie McKee and Casanio's baby shower. Now, before we get to it, we do have a word from some of our sponsors. Take a look at this quick message. I'm going to take a little bit of a water break, and then we're going to wrap things up going over some photos from Mackenzie's baby shower. Okay, you guys. And in the meantime, please go ahead and like this stream if you're having a great time today.
The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today.
To that, Shem Gem, I really hope they throw the book at him when they finally, have him up there in court. I don't want them to go easy on this man, especially after the way that, they tried so hard and they let this guy free the first time. I'm still pissed that they let him off. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, how I miss Wendy. Honestly, it's so sad what happened to our girl. Now, you guys, why don't we get into the baby shower photos? Mackenzie and her fiance, Cassano, are currently expecting twins. They're going to be twin girls. And so that's why this baby shower of theirs is so incredibly pink themed. And I guess I'm on theme with them. So shout out to me too, y'all. So they had all sorts of family and friends with them there to celebrate the big day. And it looked like they had a really great time. I thought this picture of Mackenzie and her dad was really cute. And I'm still so shocked by that freak accident that the dad had with the bow and arrow. Honestly, the just the vulgarity of those photos, right, was just absolutely insane. And so you see some of the gifts that the couple got from their family and friends to celebrate the arrival of the baby girls, and another photo of the two of them. So, congratulations to them. Listen, y'all know Mackenzie is not my fave, but I hope that everything turns out well for them. And, she recently did an update about like the pregnancy and everything, and some, stuff that was going on. So I hope that everything is going a lot better for her, and that the remainder of her pregnancy is safe and healthy and happy. Angie R says that she's so glad to see Mackenzie so happy. Ronnie says she looks beautiful, pregnant, right? Nothing but good vibes, y'all. Nothing but good vibes for these two. Brianna says she's in the wrong, but I know this. Oh, so y'all are part of the playback posse tuning in to talk about the Catelynn story, right? Which is so cool. Thank y'all so much for joining us here, the playback posse. Crazy Dalmatian Lady's asking how far along she is now. Actually, I couldn't even tell you, to be honest with you. I think she said that her goal was to make it to at least 34 weeks or something like that. So maybe she's in the 20s or something like that. I cannot recall, but it looks like everything is going well for them. So thank God for that. AG says, I'm happy you're doing the 7 a.m. lives again. I was able to watch this live on the way to work. Thank you. Anytime. Thanks for joining us on your way to work. And we're wishing you a fantastic day at work as well. Once again, shout out to you, Jaleesa. Happy birthday to my Gemini queen. No Gemini slander today, just for you. Just for you. She says, I woke up to flowers, pictures all over, cake and balloons from my boo. Yes, sounds like a keeper. Tonight is unlimited tacos. Oh my God, so that is a definite keeper. And margaritas with my sister's friends, brothers-in-law, and man, that is so beautiful. That sounds like a perfect birthday. Tacos, margarita, cupcakes, balloons. Now you're making me hungry. So I did have some questions from some people who tuned in a little bit later about the Catelynn story. So Sleepy Scully was asking, are you sure she actually thought it was a minor? Seemed like she didn't really believe them. So yeah, she definitely was skeptical. However, she did start to believe that it was a minor. And so that's why you see her asking them to go to the bathroom with Carly at school. What's your address? Like this type of stuff. You know what I mean? So to me, when she's asking the child to go in the bathroom and stuff, to be on the phone with Carly, and when she's telling the child that it's weird that Teresa joins them for lunch and whatnot, I think at that point she did believe that this was a minor, in which case, yikes on yikes on a bike, y'all. Yikes on an absolute bike. That is so abnormal. Ashley had also asked, I can't imagine what I'd feel like as a bio parent in their situation. I feel like they were betrayed since adoption didn't remain open. I feel like this is bad for their mental health nonetheless. And I agree, and that's the reason why I was riding so hard for these people. I felt like they were being dogpiled, this and that. Right? Like, they definitely were misled and taken advantage of in certain aspects and whatnot. But there's also something we have to remember. It's that they did not want an open adoption initially, right? This was supposed to be a closed adoption. They were the ones who wanted a closed adoption until in the hospital at the last second after Carly was born and they held her, they took a pen, changed the contract and said, no, now we want it to be an open adoption. We've held her. We love her. We want to see her. We're strong enough to do this. Right. So it's a complicated situation, and it was a complicated situation from the very beginning. I think the worst thing here for them, the thing that really screwed them, is their parents. If they had parents that were more stable, right? They would have been able to keep this child. Kind of like their other teen mom counterparts, like who had parental help, familial help, more stable parents. Maybe all the parents weren't rich or whatever. However, the parents were at least not, strung out, or risks to children the way that Butch and April were. I think, even Tyler's mom, I wonder if she has a certain level of guilt because she's the one who pushed for this adoption more than anybody. Right? Like, in fact, if you read the book, and this is something that I read with my channel members recently, but in the book, the mom wanted an abortion. Yeah. So the mom, Tyler's mom, or was it April? April. So it was April who wanted to take Cate to the clinic, Planned Parenthood, to terminate the pregnancy. And then Tyler said, no, we're not going to do that. Let's think about this. And so that's when they started looking at these different options. And that's when they came up with adoption. And so Tyler's mom and Caitlyn's dad were very pro-adoption, but Butch and April were not. So it was this whole mess of a thing. It's unfortunate that the stable parents did not want to step up to help the children, right? Because Butch, like only the crackheads wanted for the baby to come home and suffer with them. The other parents were like, no, absolutely not, right? And so I find that to be very, very sad, right? And Honey Badger had an update. She said, twins, it's at 34 to 36 weeks. They will deliver you. My boys were delivered at 36 weeks. I pray her littles make it out with no NICU time. Yes, thank you. That's what she was hoping for as well. She said she was hoping for 34 to 36. And congrats on being a twin mom. How cool. And Angie is a Gemini as well. Hey, Gemini gang, June 12th. Happy early birthday to you, Angie. You guys, thank you. So, and you know what? I think it's Jenna Martin, who is another Gemini. I don't know if she's here or if her mom Gail is here, but shout out to you guys as well, my other Gemini crew members. You guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Morning Report. Don't forget, we go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the day's hottest stories, which means I'll be back bright and early tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST with tomorrow's big stories. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do not hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up, okay? Take care, you guys. See you next time.